Imagine this. You meet someone who seems perfect. They talk about your future together, dream vacations, the house you'll live in, even the names of your future kids. It all feels so real, so certain. Then one day, it's gone. The plans, just words. The person? Distant. Or worse, vanished. What just happened? Were they lying the whole time? Or were you just imagining things? No, you weren't imagining it. You were just a victim of something called future faking, a powerful manipulation tactic designed to keep you emotionally trapped. But here's the dangerous part. Most people don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. In this video, you'll learn 1. The psychology behind future faking, why it works so well. 2. The hidden signs manipulators use, so you never fall for it again. 3. And most importantly, how to break free before it's too late. If you've ever been promised a future that never happened, this video is for you. Welcome to Neuro Vista, where we uncover the truth behind human psychology and relationships. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because what you're about to learn could save you from months, even years, of heartbreak. Not all lies are told to deceive instantly. Some are crafted to keep you waiting, hoping, believing. That's exactly what future faking does. It's a powerful psychological trick where someone paints a vivid picture of the future, one that includes you, but with no real intention of making it happen. At first it feels magical. They talk about places you'll visit together, the kind of home you'll share, maybe even the names of your future kids. It's intoxicating. The details are so specific, so personal, that it doesn't feel like a fantasy. It feels real, but there's something you don't realize. None of it is meant to happen. They don't make these promises because they're planning a life with you. They make them because they know what those promises do to your mind. They hook you. Psychologists have a term for this, the Zeigarnik effect. It's the reason cliffhangers in movies make us desperate for the next episode. Our brain hates unfinished stories. It fixates on them, needing resolution. And when someone dangles a perfect future in front of you, your mind clings to it, refusing to let go. You start filling in the blanks. You picture anniversaries, holidays, lazy Sunday mornings together. The promise feels so real that it becomes part of your reality before it even happens. And that's exactly what they want. Because once you're emotionally invested in that future, you're easier to control. You'll stay, even when their actions don't match their words. You'll forgive, even when they disappoint you. You'll wait, because surely the future they promised is just around the corner. But it never comes. Instead, the cycle repeats. Every time you get frustrated or start to pull away, they throw in another promise, another trip, another milestone, another reason to stay. And just like that, you're back where you started, chasing a dream that was never real in the first place. The dream that never existed, a love story that was never real. Lisa wasn't looking for love, but when she met Mike, it felt like fate. From the very first conversation, he made her feel like the most special person in the world, like she was the missing piece he had been searching for. And then he started painting a future so perfect it felt like a dream. We'll get married in Greece. Just imagine the sunset, the ocean behind us. I'll buy you your dream home. Whatever you want, it's yours. You'll never have to worry about anything. I'll take care of you. Lisa wasn't just falling for Mike. She was falling for the life he promised. It all felt so real, so certain. Every time they talked, it wasn't just a fantasy, it was a plan. But then, cracks started to show. Whenever Lisa asked about real steps forward, Mike would smile and say, "Let's not rush, babe. Everything will happen at the right time." At first, it sounded reasonable. Love takes time, right? But weeks turned into months. And every time she tried to ground his promises in reality, he had a new excuse. "Work is crazy right now. Just trust me, okay? Why are you so focused on the future? Can't we just enjoy what we have?" Lisa ignored the uneasy feeling in her gut. She wanted to believe him. She had already invested so much. Her time, her heart, her hope. And if she just held on a little longer, maybe the dream would finally come true. Then one day, he vanished. No explanation, no goodbye, just silence. Lisa stared at her phone, scrolling through messages, replaying conversations, searching for answers. Had she misunderstood everything? Had she been too impatient? No, the truth was harsher. Mike never planned to build that future. He only wanted her to believe in it, long enough to keep her around. The dream was never real, but the heartbreak it left behind, that was. Why do people use future faking? Not everyone who future fakes does it with cruel intentions. Some genuinely believe their own words when they say them. In the moment, they're caught up in emotion, in excitement, in the thrill of imagining a perfect future. But when reality sets in, they realize they can't or won't follow through. Then there are the others, the ones who know exactly what they're doing. For manipulators, future faking is a tool. It's not about love, it's about control. The goal isn't to build a future with you, it's to keep you emotionally hooked right now. The psychological breakdown. 1. The dopamine effect. Why future promises feel addictive. Every time someone paints a beautiful future with you, your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical. It's the same rush people get from gambling, social media likes, or even drugs. Each promise feels like a reward. Every "one day we'll travel the world together," or "I can't wait to grow old with you," gives you a little emotional high. And just like any addiction, you start craving more. Even when reality doesn't match the promises, you hold on. You chase the feeling, because the next hit, the next promise, might be just around the corner. And manipulators, they know this. They use future promises like breadcrumbs, leading you deeper into their web, making sure you never walk away. 2. Cognitive dissonance. When your brain fights itself, at some point, a part of you knows something isn't right. You notice the contradictions. You hear the promises, but you don't see any real actions. This creates cognitive dissonance, a psychological discomfort that happens when your mind holds two conflicting beliefs at once. Belief number 1, they love me. They see a future with me. Belief number 2, their actions don't match their words. Your brain struggles to make sense of this gap, and instead of accepting the painful truth, it's easier to believe the fantasy, to hold on to hope, to tell yourself they just need more time. And that's exactly how future faking works. It keeps you in limbo, waiting, believing, excusing, while they continue to hold all the power. The 3 hidden signs of future faking. Future faking isn't always obvious. It feels exciting, hopeful, real, until one day you realize you've been chasing promises that never come true. The tricky part? It doesn't always start with big lies. It sneaks in through small, subtle patterns that keep you hooked. Here are 3 hidden signs to watch for. And if any of these sound familiar, drop a comment. You're not alone. Number 1, everything is someday, but never today. You talk about the future together, and they're all in. One day we'll move in together. Someday we'll take that trip to Paris. I can't wait to spend my life with you. Sounds beautiful, right? But here's where the red flag appears. The future is always some distant, dreamy place, and when you try to bring it closer, make it real, they slip away. You say, "Let's check out apartments this weekend." They reply, "Why are you rushing? We have all the time in the world." You ask, "Should we start saving for that trip?" They respond, "Let's just enjoy the moment, babe." Every time you try to act on their words, they make you feel like you're the one being impatient. But here's the truth. When someone genuinely wants a future with you, they take steps toward it, not just talk about it. Number 2, they use future plans to distract from present issues. Picture this. You bring up something that's been bothering you. Maybe they've been distant. Maybe they broke a promise. Maybe you just need clarity. Instead of addressing it, they switch gears. Why are we talking about this? Let's focus on something positive. Babe, don't stress. Imagine our dream house. How many bedrooms do you want? Suddenly, instead of solving real problems, you're talking about wedding colors, baby names, or the perfect honeymoon destination. And just like that, your concerns fade into the background. This is emotional misdirection. It keeps you from questioning the present because you're too focused on an illusion of the future. But here's the thing, a solid future can only be built on a stable present. If they can't handle problems now, what makes you think they'll change later? Number 3, the future. Talk is fast and intense. Real love takes time to grow, but future fakers? They come in fast and heavy. You barely know each other, and they're already saying, "You're the one. I've never felt this way before. I can't wait to grow old with you. Let's move in together. I just know we're meant to be." At first, it feels like a fairy tale. Who doesn't want to meet someone who's so sure about them? But here's what's actually happening. Instead of building something real, they fast forward the relationship, skipping the natural steps of trust, understanding, and commitment. They pull you in with intensity, not consistency. And then, when the high wears off, they disappear. If someone starts planning a lifetime with you after just a few weeks, pause. Real commitment isn't about words. It's about actions over time. Future faking isn't always easy to spot. But if someone's future plans never turn into real actions, if they use "someday" to keep you hanging, or if they rush you into a fantasy that never becomes reality, it's time to step back. Because love isn't about being promised a future. It's about building one together. How to break free from future faking. Future faking works because it keeps you waiting, hoping that one day all those promises will come true. But the truth is, if someone truly wants a future with you, they don't just talk about it, they show it. So, how do you take back control? How do you stop falling for empty words and start protecting yourself from emotional manipulation? Here's how you shift the power back to you. 1. Look at their actions, not their words. Words are easy. Promises are cheap. But actions? They tell you everything you need to know. If someone says they want to move in with you, but every time you try to discuss it, they avoid the conversation, that's your answer. If they talk about a future together, but won't even commit to next weekend's plans, that's a red flag. Their actions will always reveal their true intentions. Pay attention. 2. Set real deadlines. One of the biggest traps of future faking is the never-ending wait. They keep you hooked by saying, "Just be patient. It will happen." But when? Next month? Next year? In 5 years? Here's what you do. Set a real deadline. Instead of waiting endlessly, ask for clarity. You say we'll move in together. By when? What's the plan? If they keep dodging, delaying, or making excuses, you have your answer. A real partner makes plans, not vague promises. 3. Trust patterns, not promises. A future faker will say anything to keep you around. They might even apologize when you call them out, maybe even promise to change. But don't fall for words. Trust their patterns. If they've been making empty promises for months or even years, why would that suddenly change? If their actions have been inconsistent, why expect consistency now? People don't change overnight. Patterns reveal the truth. 4. If they keep making excuses, walk away at some point. You have to ask yourself, how much longer am I willing to wait? If you've given them time, if you've set boundaries, if you've had the conversations, and nothing changes, then it's time to make a choice. You deserve real love, real commitment, and a real future, not just stories about one. And sometimes, the strongest move you can make is to walk away. The right person won't sell you a dream. They'll build one with you. If someone truly wants a future with you, you won't have to chase them for answers. You won't be left wondering if their words mean anything. You won't feel like you're holding on to something that only exists in your imagination. Because real love doesn't just promise. Real love shows up. So don't wait for a future that only exists in words. Make sure it exists in action. And if someone keeps feeding you empty promises, remember this: you deserve more than just someday. You deserve someone who shows up today. Have you ever experienced future faking? Comment below. I want to hear your story. Let's talk about it. Let's bring awareness to it. Because the more we know, the stronger we become. And if this video helped you, hit the like button, subscribe to NeuroVista, and turn on notifications, because we have more eye-opening psychology-based content coming your way. See you in the next video. Stay strong, stay aware, and most importantly, never settle for empty promises.